आन परायद हे बजरंग बली हनुमान हे महावीर करो कल्याण हे महावीर करो कल्याण मंगल मूर्ति आन परायद हे बजरंग बली हनुमान हे महावीर करो कल्याण हे महावीर करो तीनों लोक तेरा उजियारा यो का तूने काज सवारा तीनों लोक तेरा उजियारा यो का तूने काज सवारा हे जगवंदन केशरी नंदन हे जगवंदन केशरी नंदन कष्ट हरो हे पानिधाम कष्ट हरो हे पानिधाम मंगल मूर्ति आन परायद हे बजरंग बली हनुमान हे महावीर करो कल्याण हे महावीर करो कल्याण तेरे द्वारे जो भी आया खाली नहीं कोई लौटाया तेरे द्वारे जो भी आया खाली नहीं कोई लौटाया दुर्गम काज बनावनहारा दुर्गम काज बनावनहारा मंगलमय दीजो वरदान मंगलमय दीजो वरदान मंगल मूर्ति आन परायद हे बजरंग बली हनुमान हे महावीर करो कल्याण हे महावीर करो कल्याण तेरा सुमिरन हनुमत वीरा नाशरो गहरे सब पीरा तेरा सुमिरन हनुमत वीरा नाशरो गहरे सब पीरा राम लखन सीता मन बसिया राम लखन सीता मन बसिया शरण परे का विजय ध्यान शरण परे का विजय ध्यान मंगल मूर्ति आन परायद हे बजरंग बली हनुमान हे महावीर करो कल्याण हे महावीर करो कल्याण करो कल्याण करो कल्याण।
मुरली वाले घेरे लई अकेली पनिया पनिया गई। मुरली वाले ने घेरे लई अकेली पनिया पनिया गई। मुरली वाले ने घेरे पे जमुना तट पे कान्हा अगर तेरे पंगत पे कान्हा अगर तेरे पंगत पे पाए मुझको ढेरवाए। मुरली वाले घेरे लई अकेली पनिया पनिया गई। शाम ने मेरी चुनरी गट की चुनरी गट की सर से मेरे गिर गई मटकी सर से मेरे गिर गई मटकी भैया मेरे मनोर लाए। मुरली वाले ने घेरे लाई अकेली पनिया पनिया गई। कट है शाम सवारी बरनट कट है शाम सवारी शाम सवारी। भैरारी मेरी उड़ी चुनरी भैरारी मेरी उड़ी चुनरी मेरे गगरिया खोल धाये। मुरली वाले ने घेरे लाई एक न माने, लाख कहे पर एक न माने, एक न माने। बर में देवो मारे पानी, बर में देवो मोरे पानी, मेरे लाज की मैं मर गई। मुरली वाले ने घेरे लाई, अकेली पनिया पनिया गई। मुरली वाले ने घेरे लाई, अकेली पनिया पनिया गई, अकेली पनिया पनिया गई, अकेली पनिया पनिया गई।
रम 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 राम बोले, रम 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 राम बोले, राम बोले, राम बोले, राम बोले, राम बोले, रम 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 राम बोले,
रम 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 राम बोले।
रामा रामा सुख रामा, रामा रामा दुख रामा,
रामा रामा सुख रामा, रामा रामा दुख रामा,
रामा रामा सुख रामा, रामा रामा दुख रामा,
रामा रामा सुख रामा, रामा रामा दुख रामा।
रम 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 राम बोले,
रम 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 राम बोले,
रम 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 राम बोले,
रम 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 राम बोले।
हरे रामा हरे रामा, रमा रामा हरे हरे,
हरे रामा 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 हरे हरे।
हरे रामा रमा रामा हरे हरे,
हरे रामा 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 हरे हरे।
गोविंद हरे गोपाल हरे, हे गोपी गोपी बाला, गोविंद हरे गोपाल हरे, हे मुरली ज्ञान लोला,
गोविंद हरे गोपाल हरे, हे गोपी गोपी बाला, गोविंद हरे गोपाल हरे, हे मुरली राग लोला।
जय जय गिरिधर गोपाला, जय जय गिरिधर गोपाला, जय जय गिरिधर गोपाला,
जय जय गिरिधर गोपाला, जय जय गिरिधर गोपाला, जय जय गिरिधर गोपाला,
जय जय गिरिधर गोपाला, जय जय गिरिधर गोपाला, जय जय गिरिधर गोपाला,
जय जय गिरिधर गोपाला, जय जय गिरिधर गोपाला, जय जय गिरिधर गोपाला।
चित जोड़ा यशोदा की बात, नवनीत जोड़ गोपाल,
चित जोड़ा यशोदा की बात, नवनीत चोर गोपाल।
गोविंद हरे गोपाल हरे, हे गोपी गोपी बाला, गोविंद हरे गोपाल हरे, हे मुरली ज्ञान लोला, little bit different this evening. The Devi is going to do the opening, and so as we join in the expressions of welcome this evening, sorry. गोविंद हरि गोपाल हरि हे गोपी गोपी बाला गोविंद हरि गोपाल हरि हे मुरली ज्ञान लोला.
Sitaram everyone, welcome once more to yet another devotional night of Gyan Yagna. It is always a privilege to be present for this lovely and devotional couple of hours spent with our Reverend Pandit Sunil Sitahal, and we say welcome to everyone viewing us on Sankhya TV and Facebook Live. We'd like to say thank you to the Bhagwandas family for always making us feel at home and welcome. Sitaram and enjoy the discourse.
गोविंद हरि गोपाल हरि हे गोपी गोपी बाला गोविंद हरि गोपाल हरि हे मुरली ज्ञान लोला.
गोविंद हरि गोपाल हरि हे गोपी गोपी बाला गोविंद हरि गोपाल हरि हे मुरली ज्ञान लोला.
जय जय गिरिधर गोपाला जय जय गिरिधर गोपाला जय जय गिरिधर गोपाला.
जय जय गिरिधर गोपाला जय जय गिरिधर गोपाला जय जय गिरिधर गोपाला.
जय जय गिरिधर गोपाला जय जय गिरिधर गोपाला जय जय गिरिधर गोपाला.
जय जय गिरिधर गोपाला जय जय गिरिधर गोपाला जय जय गिरिधर गोपाला.
पराचित चोला वृंदावन संचारा गोपाला गोपाला ही मुरली गोपाला.
पराजित चोरा वृंदावन संचारा गोपाला गोपाला हे मुरली गोपाला.
पराचित चोला वृंदावन संचारा गोपाला गोपाला ही मुरली गोपाला.
पराजित चोरा वृंदावन संचारा गोपाला गोपाला हे मुरली गोपाला.
खड़ा हो जाए आरती लीजिए. Let us all please stand as we join in the opening आरती. शुभम करोतु कल्याणम आरोग्यम सुखसंपरम मम शत्रु विनाशाति पजोतिर्नमोस्तुते. सिद्धि बुद्धि प्रदे देवी भुक्ते मुक्ते प्रदायिनी मंत्रमूर्ते सदा देवी महालक्ष्मी नमोऽस्तुते. विघ्नेश्वरे जय 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 लंबोदर जय 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 गणनायक जय सुखदायक जय जय गणेश जय जय.
विघ्नेश्वर जय 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 लंबोदर जय 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 गणनायक जय सुखदायक जय जय गणेश जय जय.
वक्रतुंड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभा निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देवा सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा.
जय गणेश 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 जय गणेश.
एकादन्ताय विद्महे वक्रतुण्डाय धीमहि तन्नो दन्ती प्रचोदयात् तन्नो देवा प्रचोदयात् विघ्नेश्वर जय 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 लंबोदर जय 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 गणनायक जय सुखदायक जय जय गणेश जय जय गजाननं भूतगणादिसेवितं कपिस्तजम्बूफलसारभक्षुतं उमासुतं शोभिनाशिकारकं नमामि विघ्नेश्वरपङ्कजम् एकादन्ताय विद्महे वक्रतुण्डाय धीमहि तन्नो रुद्र प्रचोदयात् तन्नो देवा प्रचोदयात्
विघ्नेश्वर जय 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 लंबोदर जय 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 गणनायक जय सुखदायक जय जय गणेश जय जय
श्रद्धा से करते नमन गौरी पुत्र गणेश भक्ति और कीर्तन करे लीजिए प्रभु आदेश
जय गणेश 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 जय गणेश
एकादन्ताय विद्महे वक्रतुण्डाय धीमहि तन्नो देवा प्रचोदयात् तन्नो देवा प्रचोदयात्
विघ्नेश्वर जय 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 लंबोदर जय 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 गणनायक जय सुखदायक जय जय गणेश जय जय
मोरिया रे बापा मोरिया रे
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 ओ मोरिया रे बापा मोरिया रे
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 ओ मोरिया रे बापा मोरिया रे
मोरिया रे बापा मोरिया रे
अम्बा अम्बा जय जगदम्बा
अम्बा
गणेश्वर जय जय, जय लंबोदर जय जय, जय गणनायक जय सुखदायक, जय जय गणेश जय जय।
विघ्नेश्वर जय जय, जय लंबोदर जय जय, जय गणनायक जय सुखदायक, जय जय गणेश जय जय।
जय जय गणेश जय जय,
जय जय गणेश जय जय,
जय जय गणेश जय जय,
जय जय गणेश जय
गणेश भगवान की जय। आसन पर बैठे, let us all please be seated. My adorations, my prostrations in the lotus-like feet of our Brahman Devatas. Matri Devo Bhava, Pita Devo Bhava. We pay obeisance at the lotus-like feet of our mothers and our fathers who have graced the Yagna, and to those who are looking on at us and viewing us via various frequencies. To our kind and our corporate sponsors, we express sentiments of gratitude and expressions of thanks. And this evening, I have chosen a very familiar katha, but very meaningful katha, to befit the occasion, to befit the celebration, to befit the surprise that is about to happen this evening. And so, as we bow our heads in prayer, we chant mantras of invocation. Let us pray. Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om. Sri Ganeshana Aim Saraswate Namah. Sri Guru Charana Kamalebhyo Govinda Namo Namah. Vigneshwaraya Variraya Surapraya Lambhotaraya Sakalaya Jagathitaya Nagasrutigya Vibhushitaya Gauri Sutaya Gananath Namo Namaste. Sarvamangala Mangale Shive Sarvarthi Satike Sharani Trambake Gauri Narayani Namostute. Ya kunne tutushadhar ravala, ya shupravasravita, ya vina varadanda mandarikra, ya sweet paramasana, ya brahmachutar shankara pravitvir, deve sara vandita, samam paptu saraswati bhagavati nisheshajadyapam. Karpure Goram Karunavataram Sansari Saram Bhujagindraharam Sada Vasantam Hidayarvinde Bhavam Bhavani Saitam Namami. Bande Deva Umapatim Suruguru, Bande Jagatakaranam, Bande Pannagabhushanam Brigamara, Bande Pashunapatim, Bande Suru Sushankaranganenam, Bande Mukunda Priyam, Bande Bhakta Janadhara Kapidara, Bande Shiva Shankaram. Gurura Brahma, Gurura Vishnu, Gurura Devo Maheshwara, Gurura Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Sri Guruve Namah. Using the dust of the lotus-like feet of Guru, I cleanse the mirror of my ignorant mind. Guide me onto the pathway of salvation. Free me from lust, anger, hatred, jealousy, ego and pride. Shine through me to the world around me, through the very good virtues and morals you have imparted to me. I beg of you, O Guru, I bow to you again and again. श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रज निज मन मुकुर सुदान बरनो रघुबर विमन यश
जोधायक फलदान
बोधहीन तनु जानिके
सुमिरो पवन कुमार
बलभूत विद्या देहु मोहि
हरहु कलेश विकार
नासे रोग हरे सब पीरा जपत निरंतर हनुमत वीरा संकट से हनुमान चुरावे मन कर्म वचन ध्यान झूलावे जय 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 हनुमानी गोसाई कृपा करहु गुरुदेव की नाई जो शत बार पाठ कर होय झूठ ही बंदी महासुख होय सिया पति रामचंद्र जी की जय शरणम हंसाय विद्महे परमहंसाय धीमहि तन्नो हंसा प्रचोदयात्. We glorify the divine goddess as we sing this beautiful bhajan. मेरा दीपक जुग जुग जले युग युग प्रकाश पहलाए
मेरा दीपक जुग जुग जले युग युग प्रकाश फहराए
मेरा दीपक जुग जुग जले युग युग प्रकाश पहलाए
मेरा दीपक जुग जुग जले युग युग प्रकाश फहराए
इतना मांगू भगवाना आई आने तूफाना इतना मांगू भगवाना आई आने तूफाना ये ज्योति न बुझा न पाए जुग जुग प्रकाश पहलाए मेरा दीपक जुग जुग जले युग युग प्रकाश पहलाए
मेरा दीपक जुग जुग जले युग युग प्रकाश फहराए
मेरे नैनों का ही तारा मेरा जीवन का उजियारा मेरे नैनों का ही तारा मेरा जीवन का उजियारा मुख कमल बोल मुस्कारे जुग जुग प्रकाश पहनाए मधुर सलोना, मेरा तूत न जे खिलौना। मनमोहन मधुर सलोना, मेरा तूत न जे खिलौना। तुम दीन बंधु कहलाई, जुग जुग प्रकाश कहलाई।
मेरा दीपक जुग जुग जले, युग युग प्रकाश फैलाए।
May the lamp of my life shine so bright as to illumine the pathway of those around me who are in darkness. May the words that emanate out of my lips be like beautiful flowers offered at the feet of Bhagwan Paramatma. May my very existence be like the sound of the Basuri, beautiful and blissful. And may my eventual return be one that will grant unto my soul mukti, salvation. I beg of you, listen to my prayer. Listen to my prayer. मैंने नैनों का ही तारा, मेरा जीवन का उजियारा। मेरे नैनों का ही तारा, मेरा जीवन का उजियारा। मुख कमल तोल मुस्कारे, जुग जुग प्रकाश पहनाए। Sing with me everybody. मेरा
दीपक जुग जुग जले, युग युग प्रकाश फैलाए।
मेरा दीपक जुग जुग जले, युग युग प्रकाश पहनाए।
मेरा दीपक जुग जुग जले, युग युग प्रकाश फैलाए।
गौरी गणेश उमा महेश, पार्वती नंदन श्री गणेश। बोलो
गौरी गणेश उमा महेश, पार्वती नंदन श्री गणेश।
गौरी गणेश उमा महेश, पार्वती नंदन श्री गणेश।
गौरी गणेश उमा महेश, पार्वती नंदन श्री गणेश।
शरणं गणेश, शरणं गणेश,
शरणं गणेश, शरणं गणेश।
शरणं गणेश, शरणं गणेश।
शरणं गणेश, शरणं गणेश।
शिवनंदन गणपति गणेश।
शिवनंदन गणपति गणेश।
बोलो शिवनंदन गणपति गणेश।
शिवनंदन गणपति गणेश।
गौरी गणेश उमा महेश, पार्वती नंदन श्री गणेश।
गौरी गणेश उमा महेश, पार्वती नंदन श्री गणेश।
लक्ष्मी गणेश, लक्ष्मी गणेश,
लक्ष्मी गणेश, लक्ष्मी गणेश।
लक्ष्मी गणेश, लक्ष्मी गणेश।
लक्ष्मी गणेश, लक्ष्मी गणेश।
शिवनंदन गणपति गणेश।
शिवनंदन गणपति गणेश।
गौरी गणेश उमा महेश, पार्वती नंदन श्री गणेश।
गौरी गणेश उमा महेश, पार्वती नंदन श्री गणेश।
गणनाथा गजवदना, गणनाथा दीनबंधो।
गणनाथा गजवरना, गणनाथा दीनबंधु।
गणनाथा गजवरना, गणनाथा दीनबंधो। Clap your hands with me, everybody. Let's clap. Let's sing. make a joyful noise unto Bhagwan this evening. Everybody. Siddhidata Gajanana, Siddhidata Gajanana, Buddhi Pranayaka Vinayaka, Parvati Nandana Bhava Bandana, Parvati Nandana Bhava Bandana, Yuga Yuga Bandana Jai Sri Ganesha, Yuga Yuga Bandana Jai Sri Ganesha, Ganinata Gajavanena, Ganinata Dinabandhu, Ganinata Gajavarena, Ganinata Dinabandhu, Moriare Bappa Moriare, 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 Oh Moriare Bappa Moriare, Moriare Bappa Moriare, Moriare Bappa Moriare, Oh Moriare Bappa Moriare, Oh Moriare Bappa Moriare, Oh Moriare Bappa Moriare. Ganesh Bhagwan ki jai. I've chosen to read a beautiful katha that comes from the Ganesh Mahapuran. A katha that teaches us about the values of that word that is called humility. Humility is the doorway to success. Humility is the doorway to growth. Humility is the doorway to enjoying existence. So this evening, our katha teaches us very beautifully about this word called humility. Let us listen and begin as it begins to tell us. Sriman Narayan Narayan Narayan, Sriman Narayan Narayan Narayan, Bajman Narayan Narayan Narayan, Swami Narayan Narayan Narayan, Sriman Narayan Narayan Narayan, Bajman Narayan Narayan Narayan, Shuklam Bharadram Deva Shashivaranam Chaturbhuja Prasannavanam Jayet Sarvavighanopashante, Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Shada Rupena Sansthitan, Namastasye 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 Namo Namah, Shri Paramatmane Namah, Bhagwan Vishnu और महालक्ष्मी का मिलन, साक्षी का बांटे का सभी देवतों और सभी का देवता, करने वाली देखोल बुलाए गाय तथा करने वाली देवों का, इसलिए का भगवान विष्णु लोक और देवी का माता की लक्ष्मी माता की महिमा अंतर्यामी है. ओम श्री परमात्मने नमः. The Katha begins by saying to us that all devatas and all devis, they were summoned, they were invited, and so they were given an invitation by Bhagwan Vishnu to come to witness something, to witness the union between Lord Vishnu and Mother Lakshmi. And so giving this invitation, The invitation specified that the Devatas should come to the realm of Bhagwan Vishnu and the Devis should go to the realm of Mother Lakshmi. In the Hindu wedding, when there is to be a wedding, the people who do the meeting, when the Bharat goes to the Dulahin's home, who meets? Who are the first people that meet each other? The menfolk. But then in order for the groom to be taken out of the vehicle, then who must meet him? The ladies must meet him. And if you ever observe what they do, they make little lawyers of flower. They make the diya out of flower. And they do the arti of the dulaha. And they throw these little flower balls in different directions, east, west, north, south, and one up. Sometimes it comes falling right back on your head. Praying that may sickness and distress and negative energies never come or befall the dulaha from any direction, east, west, north, south, or even upwards, and even down from below. May he be protected, may he shine, for he now represents Bhagwan Vishnu. And so, as the invitation was made, all Devatas and all Devis, they were beautifully dressed, just like you and I, beautifully dressed. And so as they made their way to the various slopes, what will happen? Bhagwan Vishnu, they noticed him. The Devatas, they noticed him. And what was he doing? Listen, it tells us. जब भगवान विष्णु का अपने कार का रोट का कपड़े का उन्हों का करने वाले तीरथ का स्नान बिंदे करने ओम श्री परमात्मने नमः। देवता की दूसरी का बांटे का करते करते का मस्ते करेंगे लगे। तब भगवान गणेश का अन्यकार चलते गया होते श्री परमात्मने नमः। ओम नमो नारायणाय नमः। They observed that Bhagwan Vishnu was getting dressed. Do you know where they dressed the dulaha on the day of the wedding? Where they dressed the dulaha? Where does the mother put the dulaha to sit on the day of the wedding? She puts him to sit outside in the maru. And putting him to sit outside in the maru, she dresses him in front of everybody. Because you know why? She's proud to remind him that your entire life I provided for you. For your entire life, I dressed you and I clothed you. And now you're going to get that girl who might tell you that you're dressing old-fashioned. And that girl might tell you, don't wear it so. And don't put on this. And take off that. And so because of this, this might be my last day. So I want to dress you to the best that I can. But there is a puggree, a headwear that has to be placed, isn't it? But before the dullaha's head is adorned with that puggree, you know what will happen? The mother puts it on her head first. And you know what she's saying to her son? She's saying, before you could be any king and any groom and any Vishnu, remember I am the queen. And remember, it is because of me you exist. Remember, it is through me you manifested. And so before you can become the king, I am the queen, I am the true queen. Remember that. Always remember that. And so Bhagwan Vishnu, dressing in front of all the Devatas started to enjoy each other's company, and they started to talk, and they started to laugh, and they started to acquaint with each other. When we meet each other, we are happy to see each other, isn't it? We are happy to talk. There's so much things that we want to say that we don't have enough time to tell each other. And so meeting and greeting and acquainting and laughing and talking with each other, what will happen? Something happens. देवता का दूसरे का बिनती करने, एक और का भगवान विष्णु का अपने मस्तार करने वाले। तब भगवान विष्णु का अंधिकार चलते गया होते श्री विष्णवे नमः। Just then, while they were talking, one Devata entered, but he entered a little bit late. And so as he entered, who was he? He entered late, so he became very noticeable. Do you know some people go late because they want to make a grand appearance all the time and a grand entrance? They want to walk in front of everything and everybody so that everybody will see them. You know anybody like that? Always want to make a grand entrance, so they're always late. You know anybody who always late? Why are you all looking at me? Whether when I make my entrance, I'm still noticed. And if you didn't notice me willingly, I will force you to notice me. And so, as the Lord Ganesh entered, he entered and all the devatas, they looked at him. And now, you know what happened? He became the topic of discussion. Have you ever felt as though you're the topic of discussion? I want to tell you, if you have ever been the topic of discussion, consider yourself to be blessed. You know why? They only discuss important people. And it means that you are very important. And because you're important, your name has to be discussed all the time. And anytime your name is discussed all the time, and you're spoken about all the time, then know for sure that the people who are talking about you, they're taking away your karma, your sins. And the more they talk about you is the more you will shine. The more they talk about you is the more long you will live. The more they talk about you is the more prosperous you will become. The more they talk about you is the more successful your home will become. And so they should talk. Give them something to talk about. Always allow them to talk. When you're on top, you become the topic. Always. Always remember that. My guru said to me, very young, when I was a little child, he says, always remember, they don't pelt a tree that has no fruits. They only pelt the tree that is bearing. And why? Because their tree is barren. Always remember that. And so, as Lord Ganesh becomes the topic of discussion, what will happen? Listen, it tells us. Om Shri Paramatmani Nama Gam Ganapataye Nama Gam Ganapataye Nama Bhagwan Brahma Indra ka Kuvir Prashan ka gaya hote सोचने का अंतिकार क्या है ये तथा करने वाले चुपचाप भगवान विष्णु का पास गया होते पूछने का क्रोध अंतिकार क्या गया है अंतिकार किया गया है श्री परमात्मने नमः श्री गम गणपतये नमः Lord Brahma, Lord Indra and Kuber, the god of wealth, they all got very upset when they saw that Lord Ganesh entered. You ever went to a function that you were invited to and they put you to sit on a table with somebody you don't talk to? Hello, Trinidadians? You stop talking to people for no reason. Actually, you vex with people they didn't even know you vex. You are angry with people and they had no clue that you vex with them. And so Lord Ganesh, Kuber and Indra and Lord Brahma, they became very concerned. And becoming very concerned, they went to Lord Vishnu. And going to Lord Vishnu, they started to speak with Lord Vishnu. But they started to speak quietly. You ever had to tell a secret? You ever want to tell somebody who's sitting next to you something and you want to tell them a secret? And you put your lip by their ears and you whisper. And they say, will you say? And you say, you tell them again and then they say, eh? And you tell them again and they say, what you say? And you say, well, it's a secret. I can't tell you hard. Better just tell you so everybody will hear. It says, they went to Bhagwan Vishnu and they started to tell. Very quietly, they started to speak. And what were they saying to Lord Vishnu? Listen to what they were saying. Narayane Narayane Om Satya Narayane 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 Om Narayane Narayane Om Satya Narayane Narayane Om Satya Narayane Narayane Om Om Jai Sadguru Deva Satya Narayane 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 Om Narayane Narayane Om Satya Narayane Narayane Om Satya Narayane Narayane Om Om Jai Sadguru Deva चुपचाप भगवान विष्णु का पास गया होते पूछने जिसके का अंतिकार अमृका क्या होते, हे देवता का भान भूख करने वाले, दूर करेंगे वाले, सप्त का देवता करने वाले, इसने का अमृता का ये है। देखो और प्रथम पूज सिद्धि विनायक, एक एक विघ्न विनाशन, मोषक वाहन देने करने श्री परमात्मने नमः। Quietly they spoke, and while speaking they inquired the Lord Vishnu, Lord Vishnu, why did you invite Lord Ganesh? Why did you invite him to come to the wedding? You ever not go to a function because somebody you don't talk to get invited to the function? Hello? Trinidadians, we do all sorts of foolish things. We do all sorts of crazy things. You didn't go to the function because somebody you don't talk to got invited and going to the function. Who lose out? Who lost? Who ended up being the loser? We allow ourselves to be on the losing end all the time. You know why? Because of the way we think. Because of the way we choose to react. Because we always think that we are right all the time. We have never learned how to be humble and how to be simple and how to be sincere. We have never learned how to experience other people's pain. We have never learned that when somebody is less fortunate than yourself, how to be of aid to that person, how to help. Anything that you do, you want somebody to call your name and you want praises for what you do. Give, do, help. When the need arises, be the best support that you can be. Be the best strength that you can be. And do without reproach. Do without expecting anything in return. If ever you know me, or you have had any encounter with me, you will know that I will give you anything. I will give you somebody else's thing too, without them even knowing. You will know that I don't have, but you will never know that I don't have, because I will still find to help you. You would know that if I see you hungry, I will make sure that there is food, and I will pretend that I want to eat what I'm giving you to cook. I will pretend, just to ensure that your home has food. If you know anything about me, you would know that I try my best to be my best. Not expecting anything in return, but expecting that you will be happy. Selflessness, not selfishness, leads you to success. Always remember that. And so, as they uttered the words of Bhagwan Vishnu, why did you invite him? Since you invited him, we don't think that we will go to the wedding. We think that we will stay back. And so, how will the God of creation not go? How will that look? How will the God of wealth, Kubir, not go? How will that look? How will Indra, the God of the heavens, not attend? How will that look? And now they gave an idea to Lord Vishnu. And what they said to Lord Vishnu, make an excuse. Tell Lord Ganesh something to make him stay and not attend the wedding. Have you ever tried to convince somebody not to go somewhere? Huh? Have you ever tried to convince somebody not to go somewhere? You look at them and say, you looking tired, you stay home and sleep. Huh? And they say, no, I really feeling tired, I go stay home and sleep. Like music today is, huh? Just waiting for somebody to tell them. And so, Bhagwan Vishnu, now hearing or acknowledging what Lord Brahma, Lord Indra and Kubir has to say, Lord Vishnu says, he says, but Lord Ganesh is the remover of obstacles. And so he is the God of success. And so he is Pratama Puj, the first to be worshipped. And so how we wouldn't carry him? What will I tell him? What excuse will I make not to take him? How important are you? Dave, how important are you? Huh? How important? Munilal, how important are you? What's that? Papa Malu, how important are you? Papa, how important are you? Ari, how important are you? Sharon, how important are you? You sure? What is important, you or the tabla? Both? Oh. The tabla became important because of you. And once you're important, anything around you and everything around you becomes important too. I have said to many people who I take with me to functions, they say I am not invited. Why will I go? And I say, are you going with me? And because I'm the officiatant, it means that I could carry anybody I want to carry. And if they put me out, well, they put you out too. Or if they put you out, they put me out too. We will both leave together. But you're going with me. And whenever I tell you, let us go, never say you are not invited. Because I am invited. And once I'm invited, know for a fact that I invite others. I never go anywhere alone. Never go anywhere alone. I try never to go anywhere alone. The day that I can't have the company that normally accompanies me, I find other company. And I make sure that somebody goes with me. Invited, you are invited. I invited you. Because I got invited. Bhagwan Vishnu, uttering all of these words, Lord Brahma, Lord Indra, Kuber, they were determined. And so they said they were not attending. And Lord Vishnu now had to do something. What will he do? Lord Vishnu stood there and looking at them. Bhagwan Vishnu का पूछने क्या होते हैं उन्हों का बहुत लीचे करने वाले देखो कुछ क्या करने वाले कुछ क्या करने वाले ओम श्री परमात्मने नमः रोगी भोगी का देने करने वाले लंबोदर विघ्न विनाशना नमो नमः श्री भगवान विष्णु का आशीर्वाद करने वाले जिसने का महालक्ष्मी उसने का प्यार करते देखो संभवन करने वाले इसने का देखते का उसके का शारी का सकते करने सकते श्री परमात्मने नमः ओम नमो नारायणाय नमः. And now recognizing that Lord Vishnu is hesitant and he doesn't want to go to Lord Ganesh, they now start to give reasons why Lord Ganesh should not go. And you know what's the first thing they said? The first thing they said is when he go, he is Lambodhar. Have you ever heard about Lambodhar before? He has a belly like mine. Lambodhar. And so because of this, he's kind of greedy. He will eat all the food. And while the wedding is happening, he will go in the kitchen, he'll find all the food, he'll eat all the food. We'll have nothing to eat. Listen to what they say. Do you know there are some people, anywhere they go, from the time they reach, they're hungry? You know anybody like that? From the time they reach where they're going, they're hungry. Do you know there's some children that from the time they reach anywhere, they need to use the washroom? They have to go to the toilet. They have to. When you're leaving home, the mother says to the child, when you go, it have no toilet there. So don't ask to go to the toilet. Because she knows that from the time the child reaches, the child will go in the toilet. Ever went in somebody's bathroom and make mischief? Somebody ever went in your bathroom and make mischief? The little child go to use the bathroom and take up the lipstick, write up the mirror. In one of our Thursday Hawans, a little child went upstairs in my bedroom and locked the sink and opened the tap. And the water started to flow. And when I came, parts and fragments of the cupboard falling down. And in my mind I say, I must be senile. How would I leave this thing open and close the sink? And then I go to Auntie Radhika. I say, you don't want to know what I do. She says, it's not you who do that, you know. I said, how come? She said, I could tell you who did that. Because I saw him going up the stairs. And then I started to hear the water. But I thought it was water falling in the bath, not upstairs. And so I paid no heed. I said, well, you're a good one. The whole house flooded out. And you thought, this is what you thought. And you saw, and you did nothing. It says, now they're saying to Lord Vishnu, Lord Ganesh will go and he will eat all the food and they will have nothing to eat. Do you know some people eat with no discretion? You didn't done eat, you say, I could get peace to carry. You see the multitude of people, you have no clue how much food it has. You don't know what is happening. They're stretching the roti like oil. Tin is oil roti, eh? Breaking it chunky, your eye bigger than the roti that you get in your leaf. Not here, not in the Ganesh Utsav Foundation, I could tell you that. Because the people in the Ganesh Utsav Foundation, they join about 4 eye together. When I say 1, they do 4. When I say 4, they do 10. When I say don't do none, they still do. They don't listen to me in that regard when it comes to food. I give the advice. They don't follow when it comes to food. They tell me all the time, you stick to reading the Katha and singing the bhajan and you pray. You do that. We will see about everything else. See, they're smiling. I'm telling you the truth. It says no. Lord Vishnu says, well, that is not a good excuse because Lakshmi is Anna Lakshmi. She is the goddess of food. And there is no way he could eat away her food. She will provide food and there will always be food for everybody. And then they looked at Lord Vishnu and they says, well then, you know what happened? Have you forgotten? Have you forgotten that Mother Lakshmi loves Lord Ganesh? What if he goes to the wedding and so Mother Lakshmi decides to marry him instead of you? What if he goes to the wedding and Mother Lakshmi decides to get married to him instead of you? What will happen? You know, when I'm doing the wedding, you know, they cover the face of the bride. Huh? Before anything happens between that bride and groom, I make them move that veil, you know. I want to see, next to, you know, we marry the wrong girl to the right boy. What will happen then? What will happen? But do you know how much times after the marriage, you feel as though that is what happened? You feel as though they brought the wrong person to the marrow. Because after marriage, everything changes. Everything changes. The person you're accustomed seeing with lipstick and powder, now you're seeing with yampi. The person you're accustomed seeing with a nice shirt and pants, now you're seeing walking all around with a vest and a merino with a big hole. Looking like a sapi. And when you're accustomed going to Palki for Min Chow, now you have to eat chow chow make with green fig home. And life changes and so the courting comes to an end and the reality kicks in and you say, did I really sign up for this boy? Then you no longer have to wash your clothes, you have to wash his clothes. Well, in the day that we live in, he better know to wash because he had to wash his clothes and her clothes. And the men have to cook. And the men have to be like the housewives. The men have to vacuum. The men, after they come home from work in the night, they have to cobweb and the wife have a list of things for them to do, you know. There's some husbands, they're very proactive. They don't wait for the wife to tell them what to do. Wife song sleeping and they vacuum in and they go right by she head, vacuum in the pillow and thing too. To make sure she hearing that the vacuum working. Whenever the need arises in our home and Auntie Radhika has to sweep, you know what she does? She go to the molding on the side of and she hit the broom. You know that makes a sound? A loud sound and that echoes through the whole house. You all ever hear how that sounds? So you know she mad because depending on how she knocking it, you know, the rate of the impact tells the amount of anger. So you know if to go or not to go. You know exactly what to do. Have you forgotten? Lord Ganesh, Mother Lakshmi has voiced that she loves him. Have you forgotten about that shrub when no tulsi will be placed in the Persad of Lord Ganesh because of this incident between Mother Lakshmi and Lord Ganesh? Have you forgotten Lord Vishnu? And Lord Vishnu now he's convinced if Lord Ganesh go, you know what happened? She might really like him more than me. Husband, ever get jealous because of somebody your wife spoke to? Hello? Don't lie, you're in prayers. See Munila not just shaking inside, you know, he like, Now look how I ask an easier question. Huh? Wife, you ever get jealous because of somebody your husband talking to? Check them. If a relationship is built on trust, then there is no room for envy. If a relationship is built on truthfulness, then there is no room for envy. If a relationship is built on compromise, then there is no room for envy. For those are the ingredients that helps to build a strong relationship, not only in a union between husband and wife, but between you and your children, between you and your best friends and those around you, where you can learn to adapt and compromise to every situation. When your friends celebrate, you celebrate. When they're crying, you cry. But you know the kind of friend we have now, eh? You know the friends that we have? What kind of friends we have? When you're celebrating, they're in the front row. When you're crying, you know what happened? You have to call them and tell them, hey, come now. You come. And so Bhagwan Vishnu goes to Lord Ganesh and he puts his hand together and he's speaking to Lord Ganesh. Listen to what he's telling Lord Ganesh. उल्टा दी कह करत है कीन्हा मन कह पास है गए कह दी का भगवंत दी कह बचन दी की देकर विष्णु लोक हरि की सभी कह दीवन सम उसकारा अपनी केवल दीन पारा जय गणनाथा जय श्री गणेशा जय गणनाथा जय श्री गणेश जय गणनाथा जय श्री गणेशा जय गणनाथा जय श्री गणेशा गणपति ने कहा कर पहरी की देकर महूसुर कर कहरी की जिसका उन्होंने का आसन पेते विष्णु लोक शक्ति न जैसे जय गणनाथा जय श्री गणेशा जय गणनाथा नाथा जय श्री गणेशा बोलो जय गणनाथा जय श्री गणेशा जय गणनाथा नाथा जय श्री गणेशा
जय गणनाथा जय श्री गणेशा जय गणनाथा नाथा जय श्री गणेशा.
Lord Vishnu approached Lord Ganesh, but he did not approach Lord Ganesh privately. He approached Lord Ganesh in front of everybody. Somebody ever said something to you in front of everybody and you feel bad? Hello? Ever felt bad? You ever went to the Yagna or to the puja and everything the Baba says like he pelting you? Everything is for you. So you have a bag and anything he pelt, you collecting it and putting it in your bag. Huh? Have you ever felt like that? Well, if you felt like that in the Yagna and in the puja, you went to a real good Yagna. And you went to a real good puja. Because puja and Yagna is geared at waking you up, helping you to recognize that I'm on the pathway to perfection. But there's some qualities and some energies and some kind of behavior that I have in me that I must correct. I must change. The me that you knew years ago is not the me that I am now. And the me that I am now is not the me that you will know in time to come. Because with time, change happens. With time, you're supposed to grow, not only physically in size, and you're supposed to grow mentally. You're supposed to grow, changing the way that you speak and the way that you portray yourself and the company that you kept. You're supposed to grow. You're supposed to grow in every different of your life. You're supposed to grow. And so, Lord Vishnu spoke in front of everybody. And he says, oh Lord Ganesh, I have a request. And so my request is, the best gift that you can give to me on my viva, for my wedding, is I want you to sit here on the throne of Vishnu Lok. And I want you to guard the lokas. Guard the lokas, the heavens, and make sure that no being comes to disrupt anything. For when news reaches to the ears of all the negative forces that the heavens is vacant and everybody went to a wedding, you know what will happen? Chances are trouble will come. And Lord Ganesh, before he could say anything, listen to what Lord Vishnu is saying. I chose you because you are the most powerful one. I chose you because you're the most powerful one. You're filled with buddhi. Buddhi means wisdom, with intelligence. And so I've chosen you because you have the intelligence to sit on this throne. And Lord Ganesh's ego got kind of big, hearing how important he is. How will you know that you're important? Hello? How will you know that you're important? Are you important because somebody told you you're important? Are you important because somebody said to you you're important? Well, I want to tell you, if you're important because somebody has to tell you, then you'll never be important. Because the only time you'll ever be important is when you think of yourself as being important first. The only time you'll ever be beautiful is when you think of yourself as being beautiful. Do you know that? You dress up in your nice clothes, you pay so much money for, and you go to the function and nobody, not even your husband, watch you and say, hey, you're looking real nice, you know. Nobody tells you anything. They criticize you and they condemn you. That way you put on, that thing looking hang up. You didn't iron it, you iron it on rample. Huh? And so, Lord Ganesh's ego became so big. And because he was told in front of everybody, he couldn't refuse. He didn't know how to refuse. Have you ever been asked to do something in front of everybody so you don't know how to say no? You can't say no because you'll feel bad or everybody will look at you. You feel everybody will look at you differently. What do you need to be a part of worship? What do you need to be a part of prayers? What do you need to be a part of Yagna? What do you need to be a part of puja? What do you need? What do you need? Huh? I can't go in, no, me and no money. When you come, you have to pay an entrance fee. Do you have to pay an entrance fee? I can't go in, no, me and no money. When you go by the table, they bring a bill for you and say, how much water you drink again? They say, how much spoon of chana you take again? And they charge you by how much you eat? Do they do that? What do you need money for? You know, there is a joke. I listened to a Swami giving a joke. And you know what the Swami said? The Swami said there was a conversation happening between the dollar notes. And the $100 looked at the others. And the $100 said, let me tell all you now, I have been to far places on cruise ships and everywhere, and I've enjoyed life. The $20 and the $10 said the same thing. Well, I go in grocery and pharmacy, and the $5 say, well, I have been in cash pans all over. They're keeping me. The dollar bill say, well, all you don't want to know my story. My story is only RT. They're only putting me in RT everywhere. Huh? That's what they do with me. They put me in RT. They make boat and ship and jet and all kind of thing with me, and they put me in the RT. That's what they do with me. In every one of our Ganesh Utsav, somebody always made a boat with their dollar bill and put it in the RT. And somebody always made a jet. And every night when they find it, they will bring it for me. I say, what that means? Sail or fly? What does it mean? When the RT comes to you and you're putting something in the RT, you put something of value, something of worth. That's what you give. You're giving to purify what you have. RT has become like Mahabharat war. Who will get the RT and who should get the RT and what we will do the RT. When you charhawi cloth by the baby, who gets that? Who you give that to? Huh? When you offer seedha, who do you give it to? When you collect the RT from anything, who should it go to? Where should it go? That's a very controversial thing, you know. I'm sorry that I even spoke about that. But I'm just trying to prove the point that, you know, we place emphasis on the things that are insignificant. We know what is the right thing, but yet we choose to do the wrong thing because of our own ego, because of our own pride. We always want, but we never know what it is like to give. We never have the appreciation of what it is like to give. Ganesha is sitting on the throne, and he is the king of the lokas. Sitting on the throne. Have you ever sat on a throne before? Hello? Have you ever sat on a throne before? What throne you sat on before? I called my brother one evening, and he's not answering. And then maybe after I called about 10 times, he answered. And he said, what happened to you, boy? I said, well, I'm trying to call you. He said, well, I didn't answer, so you didn't take a hint. I said, what's the hint? He said, I was on the throne. I said, the throne? What throne? What are you talking about? You all have a throne I never saw? Do you know it took me days to figure out what he was trying to say? That's how tense I was, because I am thinking a throne is where the king will sit and the queen will sit, and you know, the throne. Every one of you sit on the throne, isn't it? Me too. We all. Tonight, Lord Ganesh is on the throne, but he's not on that throne. He's on the real throne. The golden throne is made of sona. Sona is gold. And sitting on this throne, you know what happened? Somebody enters. Somebody who didn't go to the wedding. He was not invited to the wedding. You know why? Because he is mischief personified. That's what he is. He goes, and you know who he is? Do you know who he is? Who is he? And he walks in, and you know how he walks in? He walks in, and he walks in like a real bhakta. The troublemaker is where the orni, you know, and pin it up. Huh? The troublemaker is where the nice kurta, you know, it's choking up here. It seems sharp. You watch it and your eye could get caught. Troublemaker, well dressed, you know, and in front. Kutsuria is the Rasi name. Only go with the intention of kutsur. To take from here and to carry there and to take from there and to bring here. And anybody who comes to tell you what somebody else said will go back to say what you say too. Always remember, the messenger always gets. I don't know about you. I know how to shoot the messenger very early. I say to you, I am not concerned. What they said to you, they told you, and you listened to it, it's good for you. I don't want to know. There is one lady upset with me because I don't want to listen to what somebody else told her. Mad with me. Didn't talk to me for 3 years. Because I don't want to listen to what somebody else told. I don't want to be a part of your conversation. You spoke without me being there. You listened. You entertained that rubbish. I don't need to be a part of that. That's why, you know, sometimes your friends distance themselves from you. And you wonder, what I did wrong, boy? Why they vex with me now? And you know why they distance themselves from you? They didn't distance, you know. God distanced them from you. And you know why? Because God heard the conversations. When you were not present, God was listening to what they were saying about you. And what the interpretation of you is. So God moved them out. You know, when you pass by the flowers plant in the morning, Auntie Angie, when you're coming outside and you see the little grass coming up, what you do? You pull it out and you drop it right on the ground. You feel somebody drop you. They didn't drop you, you know. God dropped them. God pulled them out and removed them. And you sit down and you're crying, where I do wrong, boy? It's not what you do wrong, you know. It's how much wrong they did. That forced them, their own conscience doesn't permit them to be your friend again. Don't cry about who is your friend and who is not your friend, you know. All of us, we are different. Everybody is unique. Your likes might be my dislikes. But we have to learn to compromise. We have to learn to appreciate each other's likes and dislikes. It says, this being enters and he's singing and praying and chanting God's name. But he goes there for mischief. Who is he? What is he chanting? You know what he's chanting? Oh, you all know. I'm hearing you all saying it. He's chanting. Narayana Narayana Om Satya Narayana 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 Om Narayana Narayana Om Satya Narayana Narayana Om Satya Narayana Narayana Om Om Jai Sadguru Deva.
Deva.
And as Narad Muni enters, he looks at Lord Ganesh sitting on the throne, and Lord Ganesh could hardly fit, because you know he could hardly fit. You ever had a guest and they come, and because of their size, you say, don't sit down on that chair. Because in your mind, you know they will break up the chair. Have you ever known that before or experienced that before? You say, hey, don't sit down on that chair, that thing is too strong. Huh? And in your mind, you're saying, if you break up my chair, I don't know what I'll do. Huh? In your mind. In our home, we have a massaging chair. You know what I do? I pull out the plug and I hide the cord. Because if any heavy roller go, then the rollers might stop rolling. So then that will be my loss, isn't it? And that's my relaxation. That's my pleasure. That's my gift. And I appreciate it. So I have to look after it. Narad, he looks at Lord Ganesh and he says, why are you sitting here? And Lord Ganesh says, you don't know. Everybody went to the wedding and I am the only God who could sit here and represent all the devatas. So they left me here, so I'm in charge. Narad says, how stupid are you? How foolish? Are you crazy? They didn't leave you here because you're important. And they didn't leave you here because you're powerful. They leave you here, you know why? Because you're a bhogi. They say you're a bhogi, you'll eat out all the food when you go. And they leave you here because they say Mother Lakshmi might get married to you instead of Lord Vishnu. And so they were intimidated, they were jealous of you. So they left you. Somebody ever call you and say, I want you to cook it because you know you just cook it real good. So you make it, eh? And then after they say that, they say, so tell me what to buy and drop for you now. Tell me, I go drop it for you. And in your mind, you're saying, I hope she says she gonna make it just so and don't bring nothing, eh? In your mind, you're saying that. Huh? Only yours has come out the best, you know. Only you could make it like that. You know, so I want you to make it. Auntie Indra, I'm staying tonight. It means tomorrow morning, you're out of commission. I'm making the Persad. Because only I could make it like that. You made it like that. I am going to make it tomorrow. You're out of commission. But do you know there are many people I have taught how to make Persad and they make it better than me. And they come to me with pride and they look at me and they say, look what we make. And in my mind, in my heart, I am happy because you know why? I have succeeded. I have succeeded through them. I have succeeded through them because now I have given the wisdom. And I have given the knowledge. And though I might die, the knowledge will live on. Because just as I taught them, they will teach somebody. And just as they taught somebody, the person that they taught will teach somebody else. And so there will be continuation. There will be growth. Everybody will learn. But you know how much times we know to do something and you never want to tell nobody? Tell me now, will you just put in a fruit cake for it to taste good? Well, if I tell you what I just do, I just put 2 pounds of salt. And I just use blue band, 1 blue band and 2 golden ring. And to make sure it's soft, I just put a cocaine. So make it with that. And you know, you put half bottle of bitters. Put it and blend up the fruits. But let me tell you, blend the fruits in molasses. Right? And the cake will come out fluffy and nice. And when you're done, mix it, and you're about to put it in the thing, throw some yeast, about half pack of yeast, and mix it up inside the thing. And in your mind, you say, oh God, I'm going and try this. You buy all the expensive ingredients, and they make you buy the most. They tell you have to get Himalayan pink rock salt. That's the kind you have to get. And not Trinidad golden rare. You have to get the one that has come from Florida. And they have the thing in the that they use. What is called the butter again? In the top. Frisco. You have to buy Frisco, Make sure it's Frisco. And you like a real mado. Following the ingredients and the instruction. And the only thing that didn't happen when you make that cake, the oven didn't blow up. Because everything else went crazy. Because you following instructions. And they only did that with the intention to make sure that you flop. In life, many people take joy and pleasure in seeing you fail. In life, many people take joy in seeing you when you are down. Nobody likes to see you up. Nobody wants to lift you up. In life, people find joy and pleasure when you sit down and crying and moping and you're like, and the minute you have and you could shine, you know what happened? They stop talking to you and they stop laughing with you and you become an enemy. But it's better to be an enemy than to be a friend to fake people, isn't it? And so, Lord Ganesh says, really? That's why they leave me? And Narad says, my words are satya hai. Satya means truthful. My words are truthful. Lord Ganesh said, well, I'll teach them a lesson. And you know what he does? He summons his Moshak. The name of the Moshak is Crouch, right? And as he summons Crouch, Crouch goes. And you know what he does? He eats away the road that the chariot has to pass. And eating away the road, the chariot becomes stuck and the chariot wouldn't go. In life, we become stuck and we could never move from where we are because of the way we think, because of the way you speak, and because of your ethics, the morals, the values that you have. Don't only grow old, grow up and grow to become wise. Don't only grow in age. And so, as the chariot becomes stuck, you know what happened? All the devatas begin to push and pull and tug the chariot, and they can't move the chariot. The chariot is stuck. You ever feel as though you're in one place pedaling in the mud all the time and you can't move? You ever feel as though everybody else happy and succeeding and climbing and flying and going and you just right here? Can't move from this one spot? Narad Muni is enjoying the show. You know why? Because he didn't get invited, so he's glad to make mischief. Ever get invited and somebody didn't get invited and say, well, me going, even if they did, I say, thank God they may invite me. Because I want less headache. And in your mind you say, I could have well go, you know. But then you say, I'm glad they may invite me, you know, because it saved me. And you know you're lying, you know. You can't wait to get on Facebook to see the live that somebody doing. You can't wait. You want to see, you want to be a part of it. Lord Vishnu, his mind runs on Lord Ganesh. And he says, go get Lord Ganesh. The remover of obstacles. Bring him. This is an obstacle. Lord Ganesh has the opportunity to say, yes, I will go, or no, I wouldn't go, based on what Narad has injected into his mind. And you know what Lord Ganesh does? He is the God of compassion. He pays no heed to anything. And he immediately goes and he frees the chariot. And so the wedding happens. Umapati Mahadeva ki jai, Pavan Sutta Hanuman ki jai, Ayodhya Ram Lala ki jai, Vrindavan Krishna Chandra ki jai, Purisa Jagannath ki jai, Bolo Bhai Sab Santani ki jai, Siyapati Ramchandra ki jai, Sharanam. So this evening we have something special planned. Dave and Cindy has no clue what is happening here. The first person we want to come here is Pandit Satnarayan. Can you please come, Baba? Ravi, can you arrange the Havan and all of those things? Baba, that's your chair there, facing north. Dave, can you come? This is your chair here. Cindy, can you come? That is your chair there. Should I tell the whole story or just part of the story? Mama, come. And Indra, come. Stand by your son there. Go stand by your sister here. Come, President, you'll be the co-pundit. Come. One of the most proud things that a mother experiences is the wedding of her child. It's the most proud thing. And every mother is always proud to know that their child chose a person who will add value and who will help to bring out the best in their child. Some years ago, Dave met with Cindy. You know Cindy? My regret is your mother is not here to stand next to you. That's my regret. For I would have made her very happy tonight. But your elder sister is standing there as mother. Dave has his mother. Some years ago, Dave met Cindy. And something happened. You know what happened? तुम पास आए यूं मुस्कुराए तुम भी न जाने क्या सपने में आए अब तो मेरा दिल जागे न सोता है क्या करूँ हाय कुछ कुछ होता है क्या करूँ हाय कुछ कुछ होता है Dave's mother. Dave's story is plenty like mine. That's why I like Dave so much. And I went to a home in Kuva today to do a puja. And the girl looked at me and she said, you know, another Pandit asked me, who is the Pandit coming? And I said, Pandit Sunil. And he said to me, well, your name is not Bhagwan Das or your name is not Nigel. How are we coming by you? And I said, what did you say? She said, well, I said, every time I call him, he comes. I don't care what your name is. Call me, I will come. I don't care where you live and what your home looks like. Call me and I will come. And if you know me, you will know that about me. You will know that I don't eat in a plate from a buffet. I will go in the warehouse drainer and pull out the enamel plate and I'll eat in that. You'll know that I go in the kitchen and wash my own wares. You will know that I make myself at home, anywhere. You'll know that if you know me. You'll know I go in the fridge and pull out the cheese and the butter myself. You know that. Ask anybody who knows me and they'll tell you. They saw Cindy. And you know where Cindy went? In Debe. And she went to dance class. She went to learn to dance. But you know what happened? Her movements captivated the heart of Dave. And when Dave gone home, Dave dancing too. Katak and matak. And Dave started going to just to see Cindy all the time. But you know, that was the beginning of a very beautiful bond that will begin. Dave and Cindy, they've been wedded for many years legally, but they have never had a Hindu wedding before. They've never had this ceremony. We're not going to do the whole 9 yards. We're going to do 4.5. 4.5 yards. We're going to do some of the meaningful, sentimental things this evening. When a union has to happen, and the arrangements are made for a wedding, give it to the mothers. On the Friday evening in a wedding, the mothers, they go with the ladies, and you know where they're going? Me to thati puje eli manai jukati, me to thati puje eli manai jukati, manai jukati, manai jukati, manai jukati, manai jukati, me to thati puje eli manai jukati, me to thati puje eli manai jukati. They're going. You know where they're going? It's Matikur, right? Matikur night is for what again? Oh, you all know. It's Matikor. But when the mother performs the worship to the earth and she comes back, that little bit of mud that is placed under the kalash, that is Mati. And that's Matikor, worshipping the earth, dirty Mata. That's the whole essence of that puja, to go and get that little bit of mud. That's what it is. And the earthly mother is praying to the universal mother, bless my child. But then the ceremony is about to happen, and you know what happened? The mother takes the oil, touch your finger in that oil, and put some oil, just a little oil, put it on his head. And the mother does this, and you know what she's saying? When you were small, when you were a child, I molded your head with this oil. I molded your nose, and I rubbed your hands and your legs. And I did this for you so that you will look beautiful. So that a day will come when somebody will look at you and say, look at this beautiful girl. Look at this handsome boy. And so I thought about my own nose. And while rubbing yours, I visioned how yours will look. What are you saying? And so mother puts the oil in the mold of the head, just like she did when the baby was born. Put a little oil for them. Babe head will shine for more boy. Mito dhati puje aili manai jukati, mito dhati puje aili manai jukati, manai jukati, manai jukati, manai jukati, manai jukati, mito dhati puje aili manai jukati, mito dhati puje aili manai jukati. One of the things about that night, the Friday night, is that night is called the Hardi. Have you ever heard? It's a night where they purify the bride and they purify the groom to join this ashram, to join this new era in their life called the Grihastha ashram. And so in the hand of the bride and the groom, open your hands like this. In the hand of the bride and the groom, the Baba and the girls, and they put a little bit of Hardi, just a little bit, put it in their hands. Rub your hands together. Purification, Hardi happening here. Manai jukati, manai jukati, manai jukati, manai jukati, mito dhati tujhe aili manai jukati, mito dhati tujhe aili manai jukati. So we have to fast forward. We have to fast forward a little bit. We have to go a little bit forward because you know now is Saturday evening. And Saturday evening is, you know what? What's Saturday? Hari lava bhuja van ke more jay, Hari lava bhuja. I want to tell the two mothers something. The lava wouldn't pachi for it, shake a little bit. Come on. I want to see how they shake a little bit. Hari lava bhuja van ke more jay, Hari lava bhuja van ke more jay. Aise jaise lava chatke, aise jaise. You have a problem? Or they're moving and nobody moving too good. So we got to change his song to make sure the lava pacha. Bole bole murukuwa kukuruku, bole bole murukuwa kukuruku, bole bole murukuwa kukuruku, bole bole. Well, it's lava for so. Sunday morning, Sunday morning they put a tree on their head and they're going down the road. And you know where they're going, And the intro, you know where they're going? They're going for this thing called lava. And you know what they're singing that morning, Mama? You know what they're singing? Motor, motor, lava milai, saki lava milai, saki lava milai. Motor, motor, lava milai, saki lava milai, saki lava milai. And they're depending on Jukni Mausi from Buru Trace to tell them what to do. So Ami say Jukni Mausi, singing the wedding song. And she telling them what to do. And you know, Sunday morning what they do, They take the lava and throw it from one urni to the next urni and they mess up each other and they take the baigan. Like how Sharon is dance now with the baigan and they do that kind of thing. And so, lava is done. But then you know what happened? The Dulaha mother hugs her son. Hug your son. And the morning of the wedding, Dulaha mother telling her son, you know what she's saying to her son? Tuta puta jala puta gauri tiyahana गौरी पिया दुल्हा की मैया अनमोला दुल्हा की मैया अनमोला. She's saying, babe, the mother is saying, she say, you find some girl named Cindy and you go forget me. And she mightn't be an in-law, she might be a daughter outlaw. She mightn't want you to talk to me and nap at me, and she'll want you to forget that you have a mother. But you know what, Dave? Before you even know, I was feeding you from my breast. And before you even know, I was feeding you inside of me. What I was eating, you was eating. And what I was drinking, you was drinking. And you don't know the pain that I felt the day you were going to be born. You don't know. Because you know why? You know why? That was my pain, my experience. And this pain is the same pain that I'm feeling now that I'm going to give you away. It's the very same pain. It's the hurt, it's the pain that I'm feeling. And mother says, I want back all the milk you drink from my breast. Give me back my milk. I want it back now. And then mother, Dulaha mother, puts the Dulaha in the car and gives him something sweet to drink. And Dulaha is going to get married. Mama, your job done, so you could go back and sit down. Tut put jal put gauri piyan gauri piyan dulaha ki maiya anmola. So Jukni Mausi in the marrow and Jukni Mausi telling Pandit Satnarayan. You know what she's saying to him? She say, Baban hali hali bhidiya bijao jiyao mure aangan ho. जैसे बकरी के पोट वैसे बाबा ना के. So you know what she's saying? She said, Baba, hali hali, quick, quick, do this thing, eh? Hali hali means quick, quick, like you start at home. That's where they get this thing from the pundit, start the prayers home. Huh? They say like the man start the prayers home, boy. From the time I hear one shank, I see Jandi going up, and then me I see no car, and then I come and not even smoke. What went on here? Hali, hali, quick, quick. We ain't interested in nothing you have to say and do one thing. We want to have a good time. We having a reception. Jukni Mausi, you know she from Budutri. Swami will tell you, that's his aunt. And so, the wedding is about to happen. Imli Budawi, where the uncle allows you to bite the leaves. Gauri Puja happens, Dwar Puja happens, Puja by the door. You know you did Puja by the door, eh? Because now you're in the house. So you did the Dwar Puja earlier. And then, the Dulahin is brought to the altar, the mandap. Dave, watch her. That's the right bride. Cindy, watch him. That's the right man. Sure. The bride's mother takes out the groom from the car and, you know, the whole tradition, it happens. I'll tell you, we're doing 4.5. Yeah, they're not 9. And then you know what happens? The Kanyadan is done, the symbolic hand of giving over the Dulahin to the. But before the bride could take her rightful place, because your rightful place is on the left-hand side of your husband, their vows. It's a pity, you know. And then you could go. It is a pity, you know what, Cindy? Nobody remembers these vows. Nobody pays no heed to the vow, because when you invite people to the wedding, they buy the card trunk and they're doing all sorts of different things, and nobody is paying heed to the vows that is made on the wedding day. Nobody pays any heed. Can you remember the vow? Can you all remember the vow? Omkar, you remember the vow? The wedding vows? See what I tell you? Even the groom forget the vows. The vows are, the bride talks to the groom. In the marriage, Dave, who is the boss? Well, you know that because you're done married, eh? But before you get married, you would have never figured that out on your own, eh? You thought you was the boss because you're wearing the pants. You didn't know she would tell you which pants to wear. See? Who is the authority? I don't know. Because the marriage vows, they're designed in such a way that the bride has 7 conditions and the groom only have 5. When there is walking around the fire, the bride leads 4 times and then the groom gets 3 times. Who is the boss? I don't know. The bride says, I leave the home and the happy life and the love and the protection of my parents to become your companion. In your home, under your care and your protection. I pledge to share the householder's life with you both in pleasure and pain, happiness and sorrow, wealth and poverty, health and illness, fame and ill name. I hereby place my life at your feet and I promise to dwell in accordance with the laws of Dharma and to maintain the traditions of our Hindu culture and Dharma. But before taking my place on the rightful side, then I must have the assurance that your promise and consent and obeisance will be given to my 7 conditions. And listen to what the wife is saying. These are the conditions. 1. If at any time you want to do Yagna or attend a religious ceremony or go on pilgrimage, I desire to be asked and my consent be obtained and I be allowed to accompany you if possible. The second one is, if at any time you desire to do Pitra worship, worship to the ancestors, I want to join with you in these devotions. 3. If at any time my parents face dishonor due to poverty and illness, you as my husband, you are expected to render assistance to relieve them from their distress. 4. If at any time you desire to serve community, to get involved in the building of a temple or perform any religious or social services, my consent must be obtained and so I must be allowed to join in such activities. 5. If at any time you must leave home to go abroad on business or pleasure, I must have the assurance that the welfare of our home is secured and I insist that my prior consent be obtained. 6. If at any time you are to give gifts, lend or borrow, I request that my consent be asked and obtained. And listen to what she's saying. You are to be the God of our home. And I ask of you that may our love and affection grow as we mature and advance in age. And listen to what many husbands have forgotten. They have forgotten this vow, this part of the vow. Never allow the words, the observations and the remarks of any unworthy and dishonorable person to cause strife between us. I do not want you to speak harshly or angrily with me in the company of friends and family. As today the sacred ceremony and the invocation of the mantras by our pundits have joined our union, may we return to Bhagwan as being. May we remain together until Bhagwan pleases to take us back. Those are the vows that Cindy will ask of Dave. But Dave, what are the vows you'll ask? I don't think I'll read it like how I read hers, because you know Dave proper, yeah? Prima and proper. I'll read it like how we will read it. The first vow is, you shall conduct yourself in society in such a way that you'll never bring disgrace to my family's good name. The second vow is, in my absence, you're expected to entertain and accommodate guests and visitors to our home in accordance to the laws of Dharma. And so your conduct towards them should be beyond reproach at all time. 3, he's saying, should there ever be a domestic friction between us, you must never bear this in mind, for such differences are common in every home. It is either a curse or a blessing that they exist. Therefore, you must not leave home under these differences, for such action on your part may cause public scandal and shame. And such shame and scandal will lead to disunity. And such disunity can bring about separation. And separation is not in conformities to the laws of our Dharma. Plenty of people they've forgotten that. Divorce and separation is not in conformity to the laws of Dharma. 4, he's asking, you could make roti. You could turn on the washing machine. You know how to sweep. You know how to cobweb. You know how to make a sandwich. He's asking. You have to be punctual in all of your duties, your domestic duties, so that no inconveniences are caused to the home. And listen to what the 5th vow says. The 5th vow says, today by God's grace I hope to share a comfortable home with you, but should adversity be your lot, you are expected to share with me in realism and hope. My adversity should be your adversity. My discomfort should be your discomfort. My poverty should be your poverty. And as I promise to love and to cherish and to work for your welfare, you are expected to do likewise. If ever I can no longer work for your welfare due to illness, you are expected to assist me. I can safely say that these vows are vows that you have kept. I can safely say that these vows are vows that you have been observing without even knowing them. I could safely say that these are vows that have kept you together involved in a temple, the building of a temple. All of these things. Pitri Yagya, I was saying to you on the day of the Pitri, I said we have performed more Pitri Yagya in this home than anything else. Isn't that a blessing? And you have upkept all of these vows without even knowing them. But Sintra, you'll have to sing the wedding song, you know, like Jukni Mausi. While now we will tie the Dulahin and the Dulahan together. Dave and Cindy had no clue what is happening. I had to shop for Dave's kurta today. And the ladies shopped for the bride. They had no clue what they were wearing. They had no clue what they were doing. They had no clue. Not even Pandit Satnarayan, no. He just get invited to the wedding too. So nobody knew. And Dave, what I will tell you, Nigel and Lacey, you know, a part of the wedding is you have to have a lukani. So a good few of them wearing the same kurta so you could identify who they are. I want all of you who are dressed, come quickly, come. You're the observers, come. Come stand on this side, all of you. These are the best mans, but they'd have better women, eh? Where the wives? Come on this side. Are the wife not sure who they is? Like we had to do more than one wedding tonight. And he's a photographer boy. So don't put him, come take the pictures. You know the photographer disrupts the whole thing, eh? In anything, everything, even the funeral. Baba chanting the mantra and they say, put your hands Sona, do Sona, smile. When you're done, you're looking stiff in all the picture. So, Sintra, the wedding song, Pandit Sat is going to do the Hawan and
आज सवलिया ससुर घर जाना, 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 ससुर घर जाना। आज सवलिया ससुर घर जाना, ससुर घर जाना। आज सवलिया ससुर घर जाना, ससुर घर जाना। चुनरी पहन के पिया से मिलेंगे, सिया पिया से मिलेंगे। चुनरी पहन के पिया से मिलेंगे, सिया पिया से मिलेंगे। तुम हो चतुर सयाना, तुम हो चतुर सयाना, ससुर घर जाना, ससुर घर जाना। आज सवलिया ससुर घर जाना, ससुर घर जाना। जो अब दाग लगे चुनरी में, जो अब दाग लगी चुनरी ससुर घर जाना, ससुर घर जाना। आज सवलिया ससुर घर जाना, ससुर घर जाना। आज सवलिया ससुर घर जाना, ससुर घर जाना।
Mama, I want to just tell you, if ever you hear I'm getting married, if ever you hear, you're invited, eh? You please come. Because all of them stand up stiff. I have to tell them to clap and tell them to smile and beg two of them to come. And I don't know, Mama, you invited, eh? Just remember. I don't know if I'll make that mistake, but just in case. Just in case. So Dave and Cindy, we're going to do the exchange of the malas. There is a song that is sung, symbolic of the exchange of the mala. Stand and face each other, both of you. You know, in the Ramayana, when Sita Devi was about to put that mala for Sri Ram, Sita Devi looked at Sri Ram and she started to cry. And you know why? He was tall and she was short. And she was wondering how I'll ever reach to put this mala. And when she started to cry, Lakshmana recognized why she was crying. And you know what he did? He lifted her. Which one of them will lift you? And they were singing, you know what they were singing? Siya Dali Ram Gal Jai Malas. You see, that's not how they were singing it, you know. They were singing it different. Kaun sakiya dali jogiya gale mala, kaun sakiya dali jogiya gale mala. Kaun sakiya dali jogiya gale mala, kaun sakiya dali jogiya gale mala. जोगिया गल माला, जोगिया गल माला, जोगिया गल माला, जोगिया गल माला। कौन सखिया डाले जोगिया गल माला, कौन सखिया डाले जोगिया गल माला। In the wedding, the groom places his sindoor for the bride 7 times. You know why? The groom is saying, may I have the same bride in 7 births to come. So you know there's some wives call their husband husband. In your next life again, you know, you was to make the same mistake again. Because that's the vow that you made with mantras and with everybody witnessing. That's the vow that you made. Before this could happen, they have to cover you because it's a sentimental, sacred thing. Dave asking if you could put more than 7. You think Cindy want to cope with you for more than 7? You have to ask her, not me. So, one of you come on this side. 7 times. Pandit will chant the mantra. धरती कहीं ऊंचे सबसे बड़ा है, धरती कहीं ऊंचे सबसे बड़ा है, ओहो बुंडल से हारा। कौन सखिया डाले जोगिया गल माला, कौन सखिया डाले जोगिया गल माला। जोगिया गल माला, जोगिया गल माला, जोगिया गल माला, जोगिया गल माला। कौन सखिया no. The groom will come out, but the bride will remain. I know the Ganesh Utsav Foundation had plenty thing but a wedding, so I know you all confused. Listen to the instruction. Don't rush. Mama Lina is coming to fix the sindoor. Dave, come out from under that cloth, boy. Your job done. But you can't go nowhere, you get tied up. You know, realize? You can't go nowhere, you get tied up now. For sure you get tied up. धरती कहीं ऊंचे सबसे बड़ा है, धरती कहीं ऊंचे सबसे बड़ा है, ओहो कुंडल से हारा। कौन सकिया डाले जोगिया गलमाला, कौन सकिया डाले जोगिया गलमाला। Cindy girl, well we sure you get married. Because he messed up your whole head with Sindhu. We sure. That's when Pandit Satnarayan was laughing because he was telling Devi messing you up. Now I know. But one of the most auspicious things that happens is that the Dulahin and the Dulha has to walk around the fire. The Dulahin, she leads 4 times, and then the Dulaha, he leads 3 times. Pandit Satnarayan will guide Nigel into putting the flower petals in your hand, symbolic of the Lawana, symbolic of the Lawa. On the floor, right by the Hawan, not in the fire, on the floor. कौन सकिया डाले जोगिया गलमाला, कौन सकिया डाले जोगिया गलमाला। जोगिया गलमाला, जोगिया गलमाला। Dave, hold her lovingly now. Hold her lovingly. You're getting married, you know. Hold her lovingly. Not by she neck, you know. Hold her lovingly. Hold her hand now. With compassion. Yeah, that's how it is be. That's how marriage life is. You tie up and you don't know what's going on. That's why the cord is placed on the opposite side of each other. To remind you that from now on, life is not the same. It's turbulence. Huh? That's why they tie you up like that. To remind you that now you have each other. You're not separate again. Now both of you become one. Oh God. Narayan. Narayan. Cindy, I hope you have the power to convert him into being like you. And not he convert you to be like him. Narayan. Narayan. So hold her lovingly and walk. कौन सकिया डाले जोगिया गलमाला, कौन सकिया डाले जोगिया गलमाला।
बनारस आजा जय हो मैं ना जाऊंगी, बनारस आजा जय हो मैं ना जाऊंगी, मैं ना जाऊंगी रे मैं ना जाऊंगी, मैं ना जाऊंगी रे मैं ना जाऊंगी, बनारस आजा हो बनारस आजा जय हो मैं ना जाऊंगी। बनारस जय हो तो सारी लिए हो,
do the Ashavad, a part of the ceremony, an important part of the ceremony is called the tag part. Where the brother of the groom, Dave, I choose your brother boy. Some people choose you because of the gift you could buy. I'm choosing a person whom I know will fulfill the duty and perform that duty of upholding the vow that will be made. That's the criteria under which I chose. And so Nigel will come. And so we do this part of the ceremony that is called the tag part. Pandit is going to guide you. It's called Cindy. It is saying that Nigel is saying to you that if your husband is unable to provide for you, he will provide for you. And he's saying that from today onwards, all I see you is like a sister. That's what you are to me. You're like a daughter, you're like a child to me. And so utmost respect should be given. Utmost respect should be given to Nigel. From this day onwards, he's your brother. Nigel, you listening to the vow? And I said to Nigel, Nigel, I chose you. You know why, boy? You had to buy a gift, eh? And he said to me, no problem, Pandit. Anything you say. That's what he says to me all the time. No